All right, now, so for the repot, I'm gonna set up my pot now to put my soil and my new tree in. There's a couple things you gotta consider first when choosing a pot for a bonsai tree. The tree, the width of the trunk. All right, for the width of the trunk, you want the depth of the pot to be about the same. All right, so you see that the depth of the pot is about the same as the width of the tree. All right, that's what you want for the roots to grow. Okay, the length of the pot, you want the length of the pot to be about the height of the trunk. All right, so that's about it. The perfect ratio for a pot to bonsai tree is about 5 to 7, somewhere between 2/3, 5 to 7. It depends on your preference, but you want to leave a little bit of space in there for the roots to grow, and same reason for the depth. You also want this, you don't want the pot to be too deep. If it's too deep, then what they can do is that'll allow the roots to grow a little too much. And with the shallower pot, it gives the tree time to build more vigor. You can, the slightly deeper pot, if you want to get the roots bigger, thicker, for a stronger, a thicker trunk. I'm happy with what I have here. So now my next goal is for ramification, or less fancy word, more foliage. Once I prune this next year, I'm going to be looking for more foliage, smaller leaves. These leaves are kind of big. Also, when thinking about the length of the pot, from side to side, you don't want the canopy, you don't want the top, the leaves to be too much wider than the pot. Let's say if it was twice as big, because you don't want it to look too big for the pot. All right, this is about perfect size for this tree to stand out, for the tree to be able to stand out also in the leaves. So what I have here is I have mesh. You want to get mesh. If you don't have mesh, you can use like sweet potato bags or orange bags and cut it up. It'll work just fine. No big deal. And then I put it over the drainage hose here. All right, center. And I have this. Now, technically, I'm supposed to have annealed aluminum or annealed copper wire. Aluminum is flexible just as copper, but copper is stronger. I thought the hardware store, or I thought the plant store that's here would have the proper wire for bonsai, but they don't. It was very hard to find. So last minute I had to find something else that worked. So I just got this garden wire here from Lowe's department store. Not what a usual bonsai enthusiast would use, but it's gonna work for now. And until I receive in the mail my proper bonsai wire, what I'm gonna do is so that I can take this wire out, even though the tree is already gonna be in there. I'm gonna watch what I do with these straws. I came up with a genius idea. So from the bottom, I'll put it through the drainage hole, through the mesh, like this here, and same thing on the other side. From the bottom into the mesh. I'm gonna just pull it up through evenly like this right here. All right, this holds the mesh down so that it doesn't move around too much. Like when the tree is moving or when you put the soil in, it gives extra security. All right, so that way the mesh won't move and the rocks and the soil goes through the drainage holes. This wire here, the rest of this wire, I'm going to use it to tie around my tree. All right, in a second. So I'm gonna get these straws. The reason I'm using these straws to push the wire through is so that, like I said, when I get the wire that I was looking for that I couldn't find, even after I already get my tree in here, all I got to do is take this. I can easily pull the wire from through these straws, and I can use these same straws to loop my new wire through without having to take the tree and the soil out. All right, just in case y'all get in the same situation. Okay. All right, so now I'm about to take the tree out of this pot and get rid of some of this soil. All right. show you the process. So I want to take it out slow to try to keep some of as much soil as I can intact, so it just so it don't make a mess. All right. So what you see here is called the root ball. Over the years, this is gonna get harder and harder. Let's say this was in the pot for 10 years, it'll be super solid, but it hasn't been in this soil for too long, so it's still kind of loose. So it'll easily be easily removed. So what I'm gonna do, you don't want to get rid of all this soil, okay? Because if you get rid of all the soil, you prune the roots too much, you're gonna shock the tree. So you want to leave maybe like 20% of the soil that it's already in, and put the new soil under and around it, etc., as I'm about to show you. All right, so all I'm gonna do is just use this this root, some kind of, it's like a rake, it's like a comb. You can order for any bonsai website. I like to go to Ficus Bonsai and order his things, or Bonsai Supply has some good things also. This is going to be small. Don't use the bigger one because it'll tie the roots up and it'll be too big for a smaller tree like this. All right, you can see the ratio, this versus the tree. So you just want to comb, just trying to rake some of this soil away from the roots. Okay. All I'm trying to do is knock the soil away from the roots. Okay. A little bit off the top, just a little bit off the top. Clean some of that off from in between the roots. These area roots, get that soil off from around them just a little bit. Like I see, I'm trying to just leave 20%. Not all. I'm not trying to take all of it out and shock the tree, especially on the bottom. So I'm gonna leave this a much. I just wanted to expose the roots just a little bit. I'm gonna prune them just a little bit. Get rid of some of the dead roots so that they can kind of regenerate a little bit, but not too much because you don't want to stress the roots out too much. So this isn't the best pruner, the best thing to use for pruning, but it works. I got it from this local plant store and it came in like a pack. So I'm gonna use this until I get like some smaller root pruners. So I'm gonna just clip the edges of the roots off, not too many, just a little bit. And I wanted to get those roots hanging down a little bit. You don't want it to like wrap around the tree. You want your roots coming out and down into the pot. All right. So that's another thing you want to consider. Just clip off a couple ends a little bit here and there. If you got some roots that are going like down and back up into the soil, up towards the trunk, then you can try to pull them out a little bit, but not off the tree, but downward, so that they can go down into the new soil a little more and breathe better. This is all I'm gonna do for now. Next, is to get some new life into the roots so I can get proper nutrients. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my new bonsai soil, put a layer down inside the pot. All right, make sure these straws are down here so that they can be close enough to the bottom so that I can thread my new wire, thread my new wire up through them to get rid of this wire. So this soil here, I got it from Bonsai Supply. Just to give you a little rundown what it is. It's got calcined clay, and there's many different types of soil, but this is one of the traditional ones. The calcined clay is good for holding water, so it won't dry out. The pine bark absorb nutrients and hold it. You can release it to the tree when necessary. Then it has lava rock, which is good for allowing the water to drain out of the tree, excess water. And then pumice also has a lot of minerals in it that keeps the roots healthy, etc. All right, and it's going to be more of a gritty mixture, very gritty, like this here. I'm just going to take some of this here and pour it into the pot. Put a nice layer down there and even it out real quick. Make sure the straw is intact. Okay. Alright, so now that I've done that, I can leave these wires off to the side. I'm going to take the tree. The most beautiful part of the trunk is going to be the front of the tree. So this here, I want to showcase this claw-looking root, which I've given this tree the name Wolverine because of the claw-looking root here, aerial type root. I wanted to show this is the more beautiful side of the tree, so I'm going to let this be the front. All right. So I'm going to sit it down with the new soil, sit it on top of the new soil. Some of the old soil on there still. All right. And then after you do this, some of this excess soil inside here. Like that. So now after you do this, you're gonna put some more new soil on top and around the tree and the old soil. All right. And then I'm going to use these wires to tie and wrap it around so that the tree moving out here in the wind is locked in. You know, animals, squirrels, etc. You leave the trees outside, it gets knocked over, it's still held in place. All right, that's the purpose of these wires. So I'm going to get some more of this soil here. I'm going to use my hand. If I pour it, it's going to make a big mess. And then it's going to bring it around the tree like that. So now that I got the new soil in there, to get rid of any big air pockets in the soil, a chopstick is better, but I'm gonna use this because it's not too big, it's not too thick, it's as thick as it needs, as thick as it can be. I'm just gonna poke to push the soil down into it so I can pack it up real nice and tight. So that way there's no big holes underneath the soil that I didn't fill up. Now you want to push the soil towards the trunk. That's the most important part. That's the most important part of the tree. You want to push the soil into the trunk. Really nice and packed out. See, some of the soil is going down because there's a lot of space down there. So that's why you want to do this. Make sure there's no big old holes where the water can just sit on. The soil itself is going to give it enough oxygen for the mist to breathe, so you don't want to have air pockets in there for no reason. You get around the edge of the pot. Also, pack it up. Get as secure as you can. And after that, I'm gonna cut a little bit more of this straw off. Right. That way I can get to more of this wire, and I want to wrap it around the trunk. Wrap this wire around the trunk. Alright. I'm going to put it low. I'm not worried about trying to hide it too much because I'm going to take it out in a couple of days. This is just for now. I got time today and it's a good temperature to do it, so I'll keep it rolling like this here. I'm going to just keep it simple with the wrapping. Get it tight. Alright, let's leave it like that for now. Right now, last thing I'm gonna do. Alright, so since this is a ficus tree, the tree once again likes to be humid, wet, moist, hot at all times. So a trick you can do, especially if you're gone and on the go, busy all the time, you don't have time to come and mist it and spray it, you know, let's say 2 or 3 times a day, spray it and mist it to keep it, you know, keep the humidity high, especially when the heat is still kind of dry. Right now until the summertime, I got some of these rocks here and put some of these rocks and pebbles in this extra tray. And what's going to happen is when you water the tree, the excess water will flow into this tray. It'll flow into this tray. It'll overflow, and what's left over will be water in this tray of rocks. The heat from the sun, the moisture from the water will build like a cloud of humidity around the tree. So after I put this in there, layer it out, and I just put the bonsai pot on top of it. You know, move it around, and shove it in there. You know, move those rocks around and get it set down in there good, so it'll be stable. It's gonna look like this right here. All right, it's gonna look like this right here. And it also adds a little extra decoration to it with these rocks, nice rocks. So when I water it, that water's gonna go through the pot into this tray, and it's gonna provide extra humidity. It's gonna be like a cloud that you can't see of humidity around the tree that keeps it humid. All right. So yeah, this is the final result for now. I'm not gonna put any fertilizer on there. I don't want to shock it doing too much. Wait till about a month or two when the summer hits, and that way, you know, gradually, you know, let it get used to everything that's going on, and just see what happens, and get another video. It's doing good. If not, then it's probably dead. It's out of there. So we gonna see what we can make happen, man. All right, Ficus Bonsai.